In the following video, we're going to be looking at slope and rate of change. The first concept, rate of change. Rate of change is a ratio that compares how much one quantity changes on average relative to another. This is represented by the change in y over the change of x. Now, when we talk about rate of change, I try to explain it as rate of change is just slope for story problems. So the way that you actually find slope, which we can see in the formula below, y2 minus y1, that tells you your change in y. x2 minus x1, that tells you your change in x. So when you're dealing with a story problem, you see this phrase, rate of change, don't act like you don't know what's going on. You just need to remember rate of change is just slope for story problem. And so slope of a line is m, the variable we use for slope, equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We see that it is a fraction, it is a ratio. When you're dealing with slope, make sure you use a fraction, not a decimal, and make sure your fraction is always simplified. And so let's look at the first few examples. Find the slope between each set of points. And so when we're dealing with this example, we're just going to go through and follow our slope formula, which says m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, our change in y over our change in x. So this is the formula we're going to follow for both these examples. Now, we can start off very basic. The way you can make sure you're plugging in the right information to the right variable is label. Here's x1, here's y1, here's x2, and here's y2. And so now I know when I plug in, if I have y2 minus y1, so m equals 1 minus 1, x2 minus x1, 3 minus 1. And so you get 1 minus 1 is 0, 3 minus 1 is 2, and 0 divided by any number is 0. And so m equals 0, my slope is 0. Same idea. We can take our information, and to make sure we are doing it properly, we can label it. And that assists us with making sure we plug in the right numbers. So m equals y2 minus y1. Now remember, you are actually subtracting a negative, which means you are adding. x2 is negative 1 minus 3. So this gives you 2 over negative 4. And if we simplify that, we get negative 1 half. And so using the slope formula is not too difficult. Some of the problems is just people plugging in the wrong coordinate to the wrong variable. So do be careful. It's common errors, small mistakes, and that's what we need to watch.